Hello, First City family. Thank you for coming and joining us on this. We wanted to make this video to tell you about all of the upcoming renovations and different changes that are going to be going on at the church building. Isaac is helping me, he's behind the camera here, make this today. And we're doing this partially because I can't really explain all of it on Sunday morning. It would take up too much time for that, and then we talked about having a family meeting or something, but that may be not enough information there, but we thought a video is a good way to go over everything. If you have questions about any of it, you can follow up with us after. And this way, if you want to look at what we're talking about, we can kind of show you. Also, if you just want to listen to it, that may be easier for you to listen to. So we're going to spend a few minutes going through all of the upcoming renovations that are going to happen. I'll tell you this before we get into any of it, is we don't know when any of these will happen. We have already made decisions on a lot of them, but wondering when we can get contractors out here. We've already gotten the bids, all the quotes and everything, but wondering when the work will actually be done. We don't know exactly. We will update you as we know those things, but we don't think they're going to have to interfere with any of our Sundays. We know that it'll probably interfere with, especially the construction and stuff that's going to happen in the coffee house will interfere with some small groups, but we'll keep you updated as we go along in that. But I will take a little bit of time just to tell you what exactly these changes are that are coming. Again, if you have questions, you can follow up later with it. All right, so we are going to start down in the coffee house because most of the renovations and changes are going to happen down here. This area, and this is why this is important. I want to make sure I make that clear. For a lot of us, we see this and we don't even see some of the flaws in the areas because we're so used to it. But for the people who come in, our guests who walk in on a Sunday morning for the very first time and don't know what to expect and don't know what to think and maybe haven't been to church in a long time and think church people are weird and all those things, when they walk in the doors, this is the first area they see. And so honestly, it hasn't been taken care of very well. We haven't been able to do a lot with it from Hurricane Sally. If you remember or were here before Hurricane Sally, so that would be 4.5 or 5 years ago now, it looked very different. Now, I know right now it looks even different than usual because we're setting up for the men's event, but if you remember, it was really set up as kind of a coffee house feel where it had couches and different seating areas and not just the tables. And all of that was ruined in Hurricane Sally. We had so much water in here. And now that we can do something, I just want to go over all the things that we're planning on doing. First of all, this area right now is currently being changed. Our library that was in here, I didn't even know if you knew there was a library in here, but there was, is being changed into a prayer room. It's in the process of that now, and will fit with all the changes in here. The reason we want to do this is because we want to make prayer a more integral part of what we do on Sunday morning. And so we're going to have a place for people to go and ask for prayer on Sunday. Coming up front at the end of service is really difficult for some people. And so we just want to encourage prayer at any time. And so we'll have this open during services. The library itself is going to be moved out here. It's already been moved out here. It's just it'll look a little more official as we get things done in here. And so this way, the library before, people didn't even know we had one. People weren't really using or getting the books from here very often. And so now that it's out in the open, we're hoping that people use it more. And we also want to have some better resources available for people that we think are great books and things for people to read. The lift here in the flooring is going to go down just so it sits a little better there. Some of the big changes down here are that, first of all, the walls are going to be repaired, which, yay, the walls are being repaired. I don't know about you, but I'm done with our walls hanging off like this and ready for them to be fixed. This is part of our delay. We were told initially that we had to replace all of the walls. We're going to have to tear them down. We got several other expert opinions, and they all came back and said, don't do that. Just repair them, and then you can paint over them, and they'll look great. And so that's what we're going to do. The windows down here also are all going to be replaced on the first floor in this section of the first floor. The windows will be replaced. That's part of our problem with water coming in. And then even the windows in the rest of the building, not on the first floor are going to be resealed, not replaced, but resealed so that we're not having water intrusion anywhere, because that was, again, part of our issue before. So in here, we'll have the windows replaced, libraries changing around, all of the flooring everywhere. We're standing over, I mean, you can't really see it maybe on the camera, but there's a big stain on the floor here. There's stains on the floor everywhere. This was covered in water, so all the flooring is going to be replaced. Every surface, the ceiling, everything is going to be repainted. If you want to just see what paint colors or color we're looking at, you can go in the prayer room on Sunday, because we've started testing things out in there. And that way it's a little bit hidden, so we could test it out first. But yeah, so that's going to be changed, repainted, refloored is the big thing, so that everything will look very different. The bars that are over here, we're actually going to take these out. The reason for this is because when we have an event like the men's event, and you have a table back here, and you're sitting at this table back here, you feel pretty disconnected from the people that are sitting over here in the main area of the room. And it just doesn't work well for events, so we're getting rid of those. This bar, of course, will keep, and this bar over here will keep. Those will remain the same. Just as far as flooring goes, carpet is going to be all in the room except for up till about right here. We'll do a different vinyl than what's down here now, so if people are spilling coffee. Also, all of the carpet that's going to go down here is going to be carpet squares. So if somebody spills coffee, we can take up a carpet square and put it back down. Isn't that a brilliant idea? The other things, am I hitting it all so far, Isaac? Okay, the other things are back here in this area, and you can see more damage on the walls over here. It's everywhere. So when we talk about wall repair in the building, we're not just talking about the coffee house. It's wall repair all down here. There's also a wall repair that happens in the check-in area. If you look behind one of the TVs in the check-in area, is awful. The worship center under the windows, you see spots where the wall's coming apart. Up the stairs in the back, going up the stairs into the worship center, there's, the one side has, I know you've seen it, has just a big hole in the wall, and that's going to be repaired. All of these things, even on the third floor, there's some drywall and some things that were repaired where we had a light fall in. All of that, trying to include that together as much as possible. Back here, all of this is going to have new flooring and be painted. The kitchen desperately needs this. We have to put flooring over this old floor. There are cracks in the flooring. You can even see some of them, and we can't have cracks in that flooring because in our old building, we have asbestos underneath that, and we were told, you got to seal all of it, so that's why we're doing even more than what most people would see. So even our janitorial area, we're going to put flooring over all of that. We're not planning on painting that because nobody really sees it. Not yet, maybe someday down the road. Back here, the same thing. We will put new flooring in the Dream Team Lounge. We haven't actually decided if we're painting that yet, but we might, depending on how it looks after everything's said and done. And then here we have everything stored possible back here in this room, especially for men's event coming up. But this room got a lot of water too. There's also if you haven't really been down here much, there's 3 rooms off the side here. These are going to turn into eventually office space for FC Outreach. That's just the plan for that. But here it's the same thing. We're redoing, putting carpet down here again, repainting all of it, setting it up for that office space, and so that it's all good and ready to go. But I think that's everything on the first floor. So heading up to the auditorium to just kind of point out some things. These stairs, all the stairs in our building are covered in this same carpet, whether it's the stairs leading up to the worship center or in the back of the worship center leading up to the balcony, or the ones outside of the worship center and like in front of the offices or in front of the ladies' restroom over here, going up. They all have this. All of that is going to be replaced in this too. So when we say the carpet it's a lot of carpet that's going to be changed out. So we'll come up into, and if you've ever taken time just to look at it, it's rough. So this is one of our many holes that is going to be replaced. That is the one that I'm most excited about changing. So I mentioned it downstairs, but all the windows in this building, every single window in this building is going to be resealed. When we looked at water prevention, the first thing that everyone said was, you got to fix your roof. We did that already. And the next thing everyone has said is, your windows are a huge problem. And so we had to seal all of them. The ones in the coffee house were really so bad down there that they thought sealing it wouldn't even fix it. The wood underneath it, not to get into too much detail, a lot of it was rotted out. And so they said, you got to just replace these. So that's where we're going with all of that. That's really more about water prevention stuff. So the rest of the things in the auditorium, big changes in the auditorium too. We're going to change out the carpet. We're not painting in here because we really like the paint that's in here. We are going to change out the carpet. That is a much needed change. We'll change out the carpet on the stage and on the ground level down here. And we will be putting in carpet in the balcony. This was something that was asked about years ago because when people are walking along the balcony during service, it is loud. And so we're trying to change that. The other big change, the one that we know that people will have the hardest time with, is that we are going to get rid of the pews. We are taking out the pews and all of the chairs in the balcony and changing them out. And here's why we're doing this, because I know a lot of people love the kind of older look with it. Here's why we're doing it though. A lot of times we think about this room as what happens on Sunday morning, and while this is a Sunday morning room, we are trying to use this for many things throughout the week, throughout the year. And if we put in different seating, and now's the time to do it when we take up the carpet, because we have to take all the pews up anyways. If we put in different seating, we can use this room for many, many things. With FC Outreach, we are planning on having trainings, and it doesn't fit down in the FC Outreach room. We really need better space for that. And so we think this is going to accommodate a lot of things and really help us to kind of look towards the future use of the building. Remember, we're not just a Sunday morning church. We think Sunday morning is very important, but the ministry we do during the week is incredibly important too, and we think that'll help that. So here's what I want to say about the pews though. I've had people ask about this already who have found out. I don't know how word travels this fast, but if you want a pew, really, because some people are really sad about the pews, and I've said, if you want a pew, you can take a pew. We would love to give them to you. They're going to be first come, first serve. Again, we don't know when this will all happen, but when we do, if you want one, you can have them. We will try to sell the ones that we can't keep and the the chairs upstairs that we can't keep, but it's time to change it out. So if you want it, come and let us know. Otherwise, maybe, I don't know, say goodbye to a pew or something. I don't know what you need to do, but take your time. And but we're ready. We're ready to change to something different. Also in here, I feel like I covered the stuff upstairs. Some of the things we want to do that we're not able to do just yet is expanding out the sound booth upstairs. There's really not enough room for doing all of our online stuff, and so a lot of the people have to sit outside of it. Fixing the railing upstairs. We're not ready to do it yet, but this is the plans for very soon, hopefully afterwards. The railing upstairs, we need that a lot higher. It always terrifies me a little bit when kids are running around up there, that they're going to flip over or something. We haven't had that happen yet, praise the Lord, knock on wood, right? But the only other thing that I really haven't talked about at all yet that is also going to change, this doesn't really have anything to do with Hurricane Sally, but it needs to happen in our building, and we found somebody to do it for a great deal, is our parking lots, both of our, not the grass parking lot over here, but our asphalt parking lots, both of them are going to be resealed. It really needs to happen in a couple of areas. They're going to be resealed. The lines are all going to be repainted. The handicap spots will be brought up to code because one of them, actually two of them, are not right now. And then we'll put in new curb stopping things, whatever they're called. Isaac's shaking his head, so that sounds good. So that will all be done too, and this is all part of all of these changes that are happening. I still feel like I'm missing some things. There really isn't a lot on the third floor other than by the kitchen. If you've seen up there, we had such bad water damage coming in when we replaced the roof that we had a light that the drywall was falling in and a light completely fell in, so we had to repair that. But I think that's all of it. We got a lot of exciting changes ahead. Remember that the purpose of our building is to bring us together and bring people in to worship the Lord. And so, we're excited about what God has given us and that we're able to put some money into it that we were given through this Hurricane Sally claim while we still got to replace our roof and pay off our mortgage and all kinds of wonderful things. So if you have any questions about it, let me know. Any thoughts, concerns, let me know. I'd love to hear them. But other than that, love you all. Have a wonderful day.